In this video, I'm going to show you how to select and store patterns and textures for your brand's design. Having a library of patterns and textures at the ready while you're designing for your brand can be a fast, easy, and effective way to have high quality designs for your brand. Over the next few minutes, I'm going to show you how I select, develop, and store patterns and textures inside of an Illustrator file so I can use them in future designs. So let's get started. So if you've been following the process so far, you would have developed a Stylescape in one of our earlier stages, and this is what we did to define our style before we actually designed any of the individual pieces. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to reference the Stylescape that we already created. The whole purpose of this was to pull what that look was going to be for our brand, and we included a lot of textures in this in our exploration. So the first thing we're going to do is look through those textures that we pulled initially right at the beginning and see which ones we feel still worked for this brand. If we zoom in here, we can see that I included some vector assets that are kind of hidden throughout the background right here. We can also see that I pulled some textures of different fabrics, the leathers, things that are just kind of accenting this piece here. We've got some leathers right here. We've got this kind of garage door look. We've got this close-up of like money right here. We've got some wood paneling. All of these textures are stored inside of the folder that we used to create the Stylescape. So right here, if I open this up, we'll see all of those files. So I'm gonna look through each of these individual pictures and see which ones could actually work at scale for our brand. So this one right here was an interesting concept, but the file is too small for us to use. This one also is too small, also too small. Now we're starting to get into some high quality files here that we could use at scale. This right here is a really nice dark texture. I'm actually gonna pull this right here. So I believe this came from Unsplash. So we are safe when it comes to licensing. So I'm gonna pull this image, put this in our new folder. From here, I'm just gonna go image to image and pull textures that I feel like are gonna work at scale and then pull them into our new folder. So after that, we now have a grouping of some images that we can pull to accent our designs in some sort of way in the future. Now it's important to keep in mind that textures are only photo elements. So the next thing we want to look into is patterns. So what kind of vector elements or designed elements can we use and bring into our designs? Thankfully, while I was developing my Stylescape, I actually pulled this patterns template from Adobe stock. So I have these luxury patterns at the ready that I can pull into an Illustrator file. Now I'm also probably going to want a few more patterns to pull for future designs. What I'm going to do is I'm going to type in luxury patterns, search that, and then I'm going to go into my filters and I'm going to make sure that I'm only looking at vectors, and then I should get a clear list of patterns that we can pull for our design. So right off the bat, I'm really liking these patterns right here. I'm going to go ahead and license this file. Once I license it, it's just going to download to my computer and I'm going to pull it onto my desktop for later use. I like the look of these patterns and all the detail inside of them, but I'm thinking they might be a bit too intense for our brand since we're still going for that sleek minimalist look, so I'm going to keep looking. Lastly, I really like this pattern right here. It's just different than what we've seen before, and I feel like this looks like winding roads or some sort of map. I really like what this could do for our brand, so I'm going to download this one and add it to the collection. So the next thing I'm going to do after I pull in all of these stock elements is create a new file. I'm going to go ahead and make my Artboards 2000 by 2000 pixels. This doesn't really matter because we're going to change it all anyway in a little bit. Alright, from here we can go ahead and grab all of the different stock elements and drop them into one place. Alright, now that I got all my textures into one place, I want to work on recoloring them to fit my brand's color palette. So if you've been following the series so far, what I'm going to do is open up my color palette document that we developed in a previous video and copy over my color palette right here so that we can use it when we're switching out all of the colors here. So an easy trick to switching out colors is you can use your direct selection tool, select the color that you want to change, go up to select, same, and fill color, and it will select all of the colors on this document that are that color, and then I can go and use the eyedropper tool to select the new color and it will fill it in with the new color. So I'm going to go ahead and do this for all of the colors inside of this file and make sure that they're the same as the colors I have below here. So now that I've switched out the colors on each of these patterns, I'm going to go ahead and create an artboard for each of the patterns to rest on. Once I create one of these artboards, I'm going to rename it to Votech Pattern 1, and then for each artboard, break it up into pattern 2, pattern 3, and so on, and then go ahead and replace these patterns with new ones. Alright, so here we are now at the end. We have 17 different patterns that we can use in future Votech brand designs. I also have kept the color palette up above here just in case I want to change the colors of any of these color palettes as I'm designing in the future. But I have them all laid out here in a very organized fashion so that when I'm designing I can come in, get a quick glance of all the patterns I've selected for this brand and grab one that I feel is going to work for the design I'm creating. Besides this, I also have a folder of photo textures that I can pull whenever I need. If I ever wanted more, I could go to adobestock.com or Unsplash and search for more photos as long as they fit this aesthetic that we established inside of the Stylescape at the very beginning. Based off of what I've gathered here, I feel like I have enough assets to move forward into the other parts of this brand design. I hope this video is helpful to show you how to develop a system that you can use to collect and store patterns and textures for your future brand designs. If this video is helpful to you, please leave a like, and if you have any questions about the branding process, please leave that as a comment below. As I mentioned up top, this video is part of a series of videos where I am developing a brand from start to finish and showing you all the steps that I go through to do that. I'm also providing free resources on my website to help you along your brand journey at brycetufts.com under the resources tab. Go there, download what you need, and let me know if there's anything else you'd like me to add to that library that would be helpful to you. Thank you so much for watching this video. I look forward to seeing you in the next one.